Eva, how do you get your information on Tunisia?
Yeah, it's a nice question. In the morning, I open my Facebook. I have more than 4,000.
You don't get your information from France 24?
Yeah. Because, why? No, why? Because on Facebook, I have the information before France 24, before CNN, before Al Jazeera. Why? Because the Tunisian citizen, become a journalist with his camera, with his mobile. He take pictures and the manifestation and publish it in the Facebook, and I received it. And after the big mass media like CNN, like France 24, like Euronews, like Al Jazeera. So really, the Tunisian revolution is the revolution of the Facebook. Ben Ali, in the beginning, start to censor the Facebook, but after they said it will be a scandal. You cannot. It's an international. He said okay, because he thought that he can use Facebook to control people, to control intellectuals.
That's right. We were told at the time that he had this sort of army of watchers, of secret police who were devoted to cyber surveillance, but that didn't work.
Yes, he used it to control the movement, but what is happened, the peoples have the courage. He has not afraid because he's behind his computer and he can publish the information.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
The people who organized today's vote in Tunisia, do they understand all of this?
Yes.
Do they understand the power of social media?
Yes. Yes.
Well, yes, do they understand its power, but they don't necessarily know how to use that power. Let's give an example of this. Officials put a ban on political advertising 3 or 4 days before today's vote. They did not put a ban on social network communication. And so what ended up happening is all of the political parties shifted that communication from TV and traditional media to the social networks.
But could they have if they'd wanted to?
Well, their response was, in order for us to have that level of control, we have to go back to the Ben Ali levels of staffing in the computer monitoring departments, and they simply don't have those resources right now. So the question is, can they impose these controls or that monitoring without crossing the line into the dictatorship that really brought upon this revolution? So what's a very important message here is that the social networks, particularly Facebook, are going to represent a check on power. People have said very, very clearly, if they don't like what they see today and they don't like what they see come out of it, they'll go back on the streets, but more importantly, they'll go back online.
Wait a minute, because what you're saying here, if the people who are doing this canvassing, if you will, on social networks, if they're sophisticated, if you've got the backing of a foreign power in places like Egypt, where the vote is going to be coming up, doesn't that, instead of it being a check on power, doesn't that favor one party over the other?
Well, Egypt's a very different situation than what we have in Tunisia, in part because the technology is so much more diffuse in Tunisia. Again, you have 27% of the population that's on Facebook. You've got a much higher literacy rate. Egypt's a much larger population, 90 million people, and a much smaller percent of the population is actually online. So that provides opportunities for people like the Muslim Brotherhood to exploit the system, whereas in Tunisia, it's much more difficult because there's such a larger population that's much more difficult to control.
The voting taking place, the polls closing, I'm looking at the clock, some 1 hour and 20 minutes ago in Tunis. Riyad Sido, you heard at the outset Catherine Norris-Trent saying all kinds of claims in every direction. We've heard that there won't be official results until Tuesday. Again, following up on this conversation we're having, what's the effect going to be if the social networking sites have competing claims on who's won?
I don't know exactly what will happen, but the social network, especially the Facebook, I think it was the first factor of the Tunisian revolution, and after the Tunisian media campaign, it's used by all political parties, but especially in Tunisia we have the social movements. Because we don't speak about social movements, we think that the Tunisian revolution is the revolution of the political parties, of the Nahda, of the Islamists. No, it's not true. It's the revolution of the social movements. And when we speak about social movements, sure, we must speak about social network, about Facebook in Tunisia. Okay,
and another issue which Eric touched upon a moment ago, and he showed us those pictures of all those women, some of them veiled, some of them not, who are standing online. 50% of the people who are online, who were online today to vote, 50% of the candidates they were voting for are women. Gender equality, one of the rules that was set up for this constituent assembly.